Hi guys, welcome back to another video, where today we're going to be checking out 4 more diecast brands. Well, one's not diecast, but we'll get into that further in the video. So without further ado, let's jump straight in and start off with this Honda Odyssey from Street Weapon. And as you can see, it comes in this really nice midnight purple, and it also comes with a few little extras as well. Now, as you can see, the packaging is quite simple and quite plain. It's just got the Street Weapon in a nice blue outer case. Obviously, they come in the acrylic display and they're screwed onto the base as well. A quick little side note is you can get these models in more OEM colours, as you can see in the black and also a silver coming up next. But these colours are very clean as well. But we will be unboxing and just reviewing the midnight purple one, as I do think the colour adds a little bit more. But like I say, if you did want the more OEM look, the black and the silver is also available. But now let's get back to the actual car unboxing. As you can see, these also come numbered, and they're numbered to 500 and this is number 465. But now we're going to check out the little extras that come with the car, which are these 2 little bikes, the surfboard and the roof rack. Now they are a lot easier to put together than what I've done here, but I was too busy trying to focus on if it was in shot and if it was focusing. But as you can see, the bikes rest easily on the top and the surfboard can sit in the middle. Obviously if you don't knock the bikes off like I do. But they do look really good on the car, although I do think the bikes are a little bit too tall. But honestly, it's not too big of a deal, as you can see here, it looks quite cool, and the orange really contrasts the midnight purple really well with the surfboard, and I honestly think it looks really good with the roof rack on top. Let me know your thoughts down below. Now, like I say, proportionally the bikes do seem a little bit big to the car when they're sat on top of it. It makes the car seem like exceptionally tall, but honestly, it's not too big of a deal, as the Honda Odyssey, being a people carrier, is quite a tall car anyway. But let's move on to the actual detail of the model, which you can see is actually really well done. You can see they've got the Honda Odyssey on the back and all the details on the tail lights as well. You can see that really bright white tan type interior, which really stands out, and it's also really detailed as well. Now the wheels don't move too well, as you can see it is more of a display model, but it does come on the proper OEM Honda Odyssey wheels, which is a really nice touch. You can also see the door handles clearly marked as well, which again, not every single model does, but they've got it on this one and it's clearly there. You can also see proportionally they've got this model really well done. Now, not just the size of it compared to like a real 164 car, I mean just the body lines and especially the roof lines. I think they've got them absolutely spot on, and they look really realistic to the actual car. Now, what's pretty much a standard on all of these models are rubber tyres and a screw base. As you can see, they're very easy to wheel swap for someone like me who has absolutely zero customing ability, but it is very easy to do, like I say. But as you see, the realism on this model is absolutely exceptional. What really took me by surprise was how detailed the Honda Odyssey logo is on the back of the model on that metal plate, and how detailed just the tail lights are in general. Obviously, it just looks super realistic. But now let's move swiftly on to the second car, which is not actually die-cast, which is the resin model in this video, which, as you can see, unfortunately has got 2 little creases on the sleeve. Now, I'm going to mention that unfortunately that does happen with this sort of packaging, when you're either putting them back into the boxes or it'll just happen in storage, as unlike the Time Micros and Tarmac boxes, Mini GT, etc., they're not as strong and the cardboard can just get torn a little bit easier. So moving back onto the Liberty Walk ER34 Skyline, you can see just like the Honda Odyssey, it's also numbered, but this time it's to 199 and this being number 77, so quite a bit less. And the reason for that is this isn't a die-cast model, it's a resin model. Now that means obviously it's not made with metal, it's made with resin, and it means you can get a lot smoother body lines, which is a huge advantage. and also it means the angles can be a lot more sharper if they need to be, or smoother, and the model can just have a little bit more detail. But that obviously comes with some disadvantages as well. Obviously, with them being resin and not die cast, they are super light. There's absolutely no weight to them, and you do feel as though you could break them at any moment or just easily knock them off the side, as like I say, there's no weight to it at all. It'll go absolutely flying. It might stay together because they are very sturdy, but like I say, super light. Now obviously that's not always a disadvantage, but for me personally it is. But now moving more onto the actual detail of the model, obviously you can see this is a full carbon fiber wrap on the car, and obviously with it being resin it actually feels like it's carbon fiber, but the actual wrap itself is done fairly well. You can't see any discrepancies in the wrap at all, apart from a tiny bit by the exhaust and a tiny bit on the fenders, but that's about it. Considering the whole thing is, well, it looks like one continuous carbon fiber wrap, it's really well done. And obviously you can see how well detailed the interior is as well. It's got the bright red bucket seats and also the bright yellow roll cage, which contradict each other and contrast each other super well. And also the interior is really well detailed as well. You can see a really detailed dashboard, a really detailed center console. So overall this model is really well done. Obviously, like you can see, the models don't, or the wheels don't spin, should I say, but you can see it comes with really detailed perforated brake discs as well. So overall this model is really well done in my opinion. But now let's move on from the Nissan R34 to its big brother, the R35. Now as you can see, this one comes in the Pandem Rocket Bunny kit, and this model is by Fuji. Now I've never heard of Fuji models before, but I was really excited to check them out, as this GTR really caught my eye. As obviously you can see, the paint job is this really cool flat grey with a few little lightness and darkness on like the accents, which I wasn't really sure of. I thought it was a bit of a defect, but honestly when looking at the model, the paint is absolutely incredible. Probably some of the best paint on a model I've ever seen, up there with ignition resin models. And if you do know about ignition resin models, you'll know that their paint is the highest quality, or some of the highest quality that you can get. But these only cost a fraction of the price at £20 to £25, which personally I think is probably the maximum you can pay for this model, as it is extremely well done. But in my opinion, the best thing about it is the paint. As you can see, the rear tail light has got a little defect on the one side, and on the other the reverse light is just made a little bit too big. They're not all even. You can also see when I turn the model around that there is a little defect on the tyre where it's not put on properly. Now it's not like where an Inno 64 where sometimes there's a little defect and you can just pop the tyre back on. This one is fully deformed off the rim, which is quite unfortunate. As you can see, there it is. Now the wheels don't spin, this is a display model, so I would expect it to display a little better, but the actual detail on the model apart from that is really good. Obviously you can see, like I said, the paint is really well done, and the decals as well, laid on absolutely exceptionally. You can clearly read them and there is no fading of them at all. You can also see on the rear of the model that apart from the tail lights being a little bit off, you can see the huge wing has the Pandem decal on, and also through the rear window you can see the really realistic and detailed roll cage, which in my opinion, other than the paint, is probably its best feature. Obviously, like I say, the wheels are quite cool with the rim being the same colour, and it does stand out, but in my opinion the model isn't really the best. Now there was a few more colours of the R35 and different liveries that I didn't pick up, so I may give them a chance, as this model didn't really impress me, but it's always best to give a second chance. But now finally we've got this really cool HKS Toyota GT 4586. Now we'll get into the name a little bit later on, but starting off we'll go with the packaging, which as you can see is really plain, really simple, just all black on the sleeve, nothing, just a little warning label on the bottom and something saying collector's packaging. But as you can see, it's got the name tag on the front and also the fact it's a limited edition, which we'll get into in a second as well. But as you can see, it's got that really cool exposed engine as well, which is the Ferrari engine, which is also why it's called the 4586, because it's the 458 engine. But as you can see, it is numbered and it's to 699 and it's 495 out of them. So not quite as low as the Honda Odyssey and the R34, but still numbered, so still very cool. But as you can see, this car is super aggressive. You can see every single bit of detail. That Ferrari engine sticking out the bonnet is so aggressive and so cool. You can see the front camber on the wheels and the super aggressive poke. Also, count how many times I say aggressive, because honestly, that's just all this car is. You can even see my finger through the bonnet or through the engine bay, which is really cool. But as you can see, the purple piping really accents the car and just sets the model off completely. You can also see it's got the brake calipers behind the wheel, and if you just saw for the split second the wheel moved, the caliper didn't, which obviously is always helpful, but obviously the wheels don't move. But you can see on the rear of the model, it's got that super aggressive diffuser and also the heated rear window feature, with obviously you've been able to see that really cool roll cage. Now obviously the interior is extremely detailed, as you can see. It's got so much detail. It's probably the most detailed interior that I've seen, apart from them Porsche models in the unboxing video before. As you can see, it also comes with the yellow tinted headlights, which really just tie the whole model together. You can see obviously it's got the Toyota badge on the front, which again you can clearly see, and this is really becoming one of my favourite models in the collection. As you can see, it's got really detailed wheels with the calipers. It's got a detailed engine bay with a Ferrari engine in it, and obviously the purple painted pipes as well. It's also got a really detailed interior, with obviously the wheels having an extreme amount of poke on the front. And also, as you can see, the rear of the model isn't bad either, with the heated rear window feature and also the detailed tail lights as well. So overall, this model is very good, and I highly recommend it if you do get the chance to buy it. Let me know your favourite model out of the 4 I've unboxed today and why in the comments down below, as I love reading why, as it's really interesting. But if you have enjoyed the video, make sure to drop it a like and share it around with your friends, and also subscribe if you are new. But I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.